Well, I'm very lucky. I've been engaging with policymakers over virtually all of my career over the last 25 years. So I started my academic career as a researcher at the London School of Economics on a research programme called the Welfare State Programme. And the things that we were doing research into were very policy relevant. So we used to engage with policymakers from the Department of Work and Pensions and also Department for Education. So I did some early research looking at rates of return to education and then became involved in looking at modelling of pension systems. So those are really policy relevant topics. And then I was lucky enough to be invited by the World Bank to go on the very first mission to Central Asia when these countries were becoming independent from the Soviet Union. And that opened up a whole time period where I interacted with policymakers both at the national level in Central Asia but also at the international level, working with policymakers at the World Bank and UNICEF and WHO, for example. So it's been hugely exciting and hugely beneficial. I was approached as director of the ESRC Centre for Population Change to recommend someone to be the special advisor. So they weren't actually asking me, they were asking me to make recommendations. But I thought about it and I thought, well, that would be a really exciting thing to engage with, to actually have the pleasure of sitting in the House of Lords and listening to the evidence. So I recommended myself and was fortunate enough to be successful. And what the role involves is actually working with the clerk to the committee to make recommendations for specialist witnesses to come forward and present evidence to the committee. And then I'll also be involved in helping the committee write the report. My advice to anyone would be to get involved. So even as a PhD student or an early career researcher, if the research you're doing has policy relevance, think about who might be interested in the results of your research, get in touch with them, send them copies of your research, maybe try and draft something which is in layman's language. Just get involved. It's really rewarding.